All right. Good afternoon, evening, or morning, wherever you are watching this video. It is L. Jermaine Russell, and I am here to speak about some of the trades that I made, either executed and closed out, or that I thought about having, and wanted to just share my thoughts. This is Stocks and Squats. Once again, L. Jermaine Russell. It is July 20th, 2020. Pandemic of the coronavirus is here and alive. Um, I'm still in Arizona. I'm still here out hanging out with my sister. Kind of like it out here. It's pretty chill, pretty dope. Um, if you have not liked or subscribed to my channel, please do so. You know, it doesn't really cost you anything, but definitely I love the engagement. I love the fact that you can ask me questions or I can ask you questions, and then we can really like bounce ideas off of each other. So with that being said, a little housekeeping duty. Let me just go over Gene real quick. So as I noted in the previous video, that I was in Gene, and you see that it spiked up on Friday. No, this wasn't Friday actually. It was Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday going into Thursday. So on Wednesday going into Thursday, it spiked up. It went from like $2 or $2.50 a share to $10.30 a share, and then it came right back down. And the reason why it came down is because the company halted its own stock. It wanted to make sure that it doesn't get any type of investigation, because that typically is what happened when stocks run this hard and strong without any news. They didn't get any investigation, so not only did the stock run up as much as it did, it came down $5 a share as well, to actually have a direct offering. So when it opened up this morning, it opened up and it actually kind of spiked. I was waiting for it to, oops, not there, over here. I was thinking that it was gonna go at least to 7. I got a little greedy, thinking that it was gonna go to 7, but it didn't. It actually just went to 6. I should have just sold there. I was waiting for it to be overbought. It didn't go overbought, and so I ended up like kind of just patiently waiting. And then once I saw it got to 5.30, it was actually like 10 30 cents more than where it was before when it closed the previous day. So I didn't lose $1,000 like I thought I was going to do. I only lost really $700 overall on the trade itself. So I am, even though I got in on this trade, and it was pretty bad that I got in on this trade, especially such a late day trade. I'm glad that I didn't lose more than I could have, because if I had held and hoped and watched this go, I would have lost a whole lot more. So that you see that it actually closed at $4.30 on the day. And that's what happens when it comes out with a mixed offering. Not a mixed offering, but when it comes out with a direct offering. And that direct offering was for $5 a share. So that's where it's at. Maybe it might do something later on, being that the shares were $5 a share or whatever. But history tells us, if we look at the past spikes, that it spikes and comes back down, right? It spikes and comes back down. Maybe it might do this, right? Maybe it might do something like this tomorrow. Who knows? But it tends to spike and then come back down. So if it even does this, maybe I might jump in. Maybe I won't, but I will. I still have it on my list of a stock that I traded this past week. So it just gives me an idea just to study the way that it moved, so I won't ever get caught in something like this ever again. So that is gene technology or genetic technology. They do what they do, and I got caught up in what they did. So that's fine. I ended up catching some of my money back on today, by trading. And first, which was sad, because I actually got out of this stock earlier. I got in too soon, right? I was in at 309. On the 15th. The 15th was, I think that was a Wednesday. I want to say it was a Wednesday. I want to say it was a Wednesday. The 15th was a Wednesday, yes. So I got in on a Wednesday at $3.09. and I was anticipating it to actually do this already. Everything was lined up pretty much the way that it suggested. You know, it was a strong green candle, another green candle. It just had some pullback on this day, but essentially it did one of these. And because it did one of these, it was one of those stocks that you just have to, it's overbought. It's overbought on the day chart. So what I ended up doing, despite the fact that I bought some over here and I sold, well, I bought some here and I sold here on this day. Let's just go back to those days and see what did I actually do. I know I went over this in a previous video, but I would like to go over it again just to kind of look at what was happening, right? So this was Wednesday, right? I bought Wednesday, and I bought it on the uptrend, right? Probably a little bit too late. I could have bought it a little bit sooner, but like in the 280s. I typically don't like buying in this, like on the other side of the whole dollar amount, right? I really like buying on the lower side of the whole dollar amount. So if it's at $3, I typically like buying at like 275, 280. Only recently I've been buying at like 310 or 210 or 515, somewhere around there, 505. I don't like that. But it did one of these moves and then it pulled back. Pre-market, then the following day I sold as it was coming back down. But what did it do? It found support at this 370-ish area, the price point that I typically like to buy at. And then it spiked. It went up to 324 before coming back, and then it came back and then pulled back the next day, as we saw on the day chart. Kind of pulled back, and it pulled back to what, the like 290-ish area, right? So let's say that if I was holding this all the way through, I could have bought more here, and then this kind of rode the wave. But obviously hindsight is always 2020. So I got out back then, and this is today. Today I actually bought this a couple of times. I bought 350 shares on the way up because as it continued to go through each breakout, as it was going through each breakout, I said, okay, I'm gonna buy there. It broke out again, and I bought again. So if it would pull back, I would wait and see if it would break out. I was actually planning on buying more around here, and then I started to see the level 2 show that it was going to pull back a little bit, but I should have bought again at that 370-ish area. I had an average of 360, and then it spiked, and I sold at like I think it was 425 or something like that. So I was able to $275, $290 or so. So yeah, I sold at 427. So pretty much near the top, right? And it was just all pretty much because I was looking at how it was overbought on the day chart, right? So this is a good trade. I kind of still see it going up higher just because of this green candlestick here is engulfing this red candlestick, and you have a green candlestick that's on the left side of the red candlestick. And if it does go higher, and I think I was saying this in the previous video, this 388 area is resistance, right? So we have resistance here. If it does try to go higher, it would need to close above this 424 area, really start to trade above that before it can even test 470s or even the 5s. So, breaking this 380-ish area would be superb. Maybe it pulls back in the pre-market or when the market opens, and then go a little bit higher. But right now it's about 6 cents a share higher in the after hours. So, and let's look at the hour chart. The hour chart also shows that the momentum is slowing down. So right now I wouldn't even buy this, even though the momentum is slowing down and everything is still on the positive end. The RSI is not overbought, but the risk level is not the same, right? The risk would be a whole lot higher now, but it can possibly go higher. So, never can really underestimate a stock like this. especially when it's a low float. It's a low float stock. The one that I'm really more disappointed in is the one that I sold too soon. I sold this way too soon, thinking that it was going to fail. I did not trust my overall chart. If I looked at the actual day chart and saw that there were so many green candlesticks here, I would have known that this would be able to hold. I originally bought this at 535 on Friday, and then I ended up selling, and I sold. I think it was at 532 or something like that. So let's go back. This, and I hate when I do this. Like I will trust myself, and then until I don't. Um, so essentially, I bought a couple of times over here on Friday. Pre-market, it looked okay, right? But when the market started to open, I did not give myself a chance because once I started to see 520 pop up on the level two, I was like, yeah, this is not good. Um, so 520 was starting to pop up, um, and I sold at 530 because I thought it was just going to collapse there. I thought it was really, really going to collapse. Um, it didn't go overbought or oversold, so I could have waited, but I didn't wait. And because I didn't wait to see if it was really going to go to oversold, which is not something that I would like to see. Like, hey, now it's oversold. Now I'm going to sell. There were so many successive red candlesticks. This gave me more of a reason why I should sell. But if I were to go back just a little bit, that 520-ish area was borderline support, right? So we had it here, we had it here, we even had a couple places over here. 520 was support a couple of times. I definitely could have waited. Let me see if there's any more. Maybe if I go to the hour chart, I will see this. You know, that's 580, 540, yeah. So there was some over here. This well, that's more 540, 520 or so, right? Even over here. So, support was there. I just neglected to find it, so I didn't get it. But I did buy back in. I bought back in at I think it was what 650. I bought back in at 650 mainly because it was starting to pull back, and I was thinking, maybe it was going to come all the way down to the 580s, and it really didn't until later on in the day, that it was getting close to the six, and then it pulled back up higher. I should have bought more than just 50 shares, but I know that this stock does like the spike, and like that's what it did in the previous days. It kind of like spiked and then pulled back to a level where it can just trade slowly throughout the rest of the day. So even though it pulled back over here, it wasn't going to go below that $5 whole dollar amount. And that's what happened over here. It spiked and it stayed over six. It didn't go below that whole dollar amount. So I'm expecting at least some type of news on this. I'm not 100% sure what they have, going on other than their cardiac drug and their was it dystrophy? Yeah, dystrophy. Duchenne muscular dystrophy drug. Like I don't know these things. Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So I don't know what else they have planned going on with this. But it's a low flow stock. 14 million shares, traded 7 million on the day. If I was just a little bit more patient, maybe I would have like really profited here from that 530 to like 7. You see that? See? So I knew it was going to go, but I just gotta like watch my own patience. So a couple of stocks that I did buy in on. Well, no, actually, I did sell also LCA. LCA, it was just looking weak, but it should do something according to the MACD. It's selling off some of its, is selling off some of its selling pressure, right? So it went up higher in the pre-market, and I should have just got rid of it during the pre-market like I typically do with these stocks. And the same thing with SPAQ. It was up during the pre-market, but I trusted you know, the way that the way that this green candlestick looked, I thought it was gonna break this 1545 area. It didn't. So that I think that was another reason why I ended up selling CAPR a lot sooner, because these SPACs, not LCA, SPAC, which is Special Private Acquisition Company, LCA, and SPAQ, they both were up in the pre-market before collapsing when the market opened. So that was probably one of the reasons why I ended up selling, you know, because I had that emotional trauma that I was carrying with me with on CARP, so CAPR. So that's why I ended up selling that. Excuse me. So those are pretty much what I did today. I am looking at a couple of other ones. I'm looking at ABIO, low float stock, 3 million. Is traded 4 million today. Again, this is the second day in a row traded 4 million. I'm looking at a new IPO, ADTX. It's up after hours. I'm trying this scanner to see how, you know, seeing stocks that are close to the EMAs. I'm seeing how that's going to work out for me. And that is pretty much it. I'm holding three stocks overnight: CAPR, ABIO, and ADTX. I do have my eyes on Pendleton. I think I might throw some shares at it, just because of the fact that, you know, I work out. So, and I've been ranting and raving about this stock prior to when it first came out, when it was in the $20 area. So I definitely missed the big move. It's just like with Lululemon. I missed this so many times. There's been so many times, and it still has upside now. So this will be a stock that I should definitely put in money, because look at this. I don't see why I would even not want to put in money on this one. Like, I should buy at least like 50 shares or something, and just let it rock for a couple of days. Yeah, and one that just kind of like grasped my interest real quick. I was listening to Kramer, and he was talking about this. You know, Kramer on Mad Money, CNBC. He was talking about, you know, Callaway Golf. I don't even golf. I can care less for golfing, but I know there are some golf enthusiasts. Actually, it's not that bad of a sport. It's pretty cool. Not mad. But I could see this kind of doing something as well. So I will keep my eye on it, but you know, just looking at things in the sporting world, I guess, just to see what it does. But I already knew about Lululemon. I already knew about Pendleton. So now Callaway Golfing is another one that I'm going to be looking at. So thank you for watching. Like I said, I'm trying to keep my videos a little bit shorter, just because of the fact that, you know, I don't want to be ranting and rambling about stocks all day to you. But maybe you might like it, and maybe we can do a live video and really start talking about these. But if you haven't done so, please click please click the like or subscribe icons, and so it just kind of keeps me in rotation, and it keeps you notified of the certain stocks that I'm trading, because maybe you're looking at low floats, maybe you're looking at, you know, biotech and looking at anything that's related to the coronavirus, or, you know, technology stocks, so we can be on the same page. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next video.